Scotland, a land of rugged beauty, mysterious landscapes, and ancient traditions, has long captivated the hearts and minds of travelers, historians, and curious minds alike. Known for its dramatic scenery of mist-covered hills, historic castles, and picturesque lochs, Scotland offers more than just a visual feast. It presents a fascinating blend of history, culture, and social dynamics that have evolved over centuries. While many are drawn to Scotland's scenic grandeur, it is the social fabric, especially regarding romantic relationships, fidelity, and infidelity, that offers some intriguing insights into the nation's unique cultural identity. The way relationships are understood and navigated in Scotland has evolved dramatically over time, from strict historical norms to a more liberal, open-minded approach to romance. Scotland has transformed into a place where relationship dynamics are as diverse as its natural landscapes. However, the country's unique view on love, relationships, and infidelity is one of its most surprising cultural elements. What makes Scotland's approach to love and fidelity so different? Why are its romantic traditions so unique compared to other nations? Let's embark on a journey through Scotland's history, culture, and evolving social norms to uncover the answers. And now we're about to learn all these details, so make sure to subscribe and turn on the notification bell. We're starting soon. What makes relationships in Scotland so different? When one thinks of Scotland, images of towering mountains, green hills, and ancient castles often come to mind. However, the social dynamics in Scotland, particularly around love and relationships, are equally intriguing. Scotland is widely regarded as a progressive and forward-thinking society, particularly when it comes to personal freedoms and individual rights. This mindset deeply influences the way romantic relationships are understood and navigated within the country. Unlike many societies where relationships tend to follow traditional norms, Scotland embraces a more flexible approach to love. It's a place where personal autonomy and freedom of expression are deeply valued. People are encouraged to pursue romantic relationships on their own terms, and societal expectations regarding love and fidelity are often viewed as guidelines rather than strict rules to be followed. The result is a culture where relationships are more experimental, where people feel empowered to engage in non-traditional romantic dynamics. This has led to a society that's more open to different relationship models, from monogamous unions to more open and polyamorous relationships. In this sense, Scotland offers a landscape where personal and relational freedom are seen as essential components of romantic life. And now we're about to dive deeper into these cultural shifts, so don't miss out. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more exclusive content. The historical and cultural roots of Scottish relationships. The history of Scotland offers valuable insights into how the nation's approach to relationships has evolved. For centuries, Scottish relationships, like those in many parts of Europe, were shaped by rigid social and religious norms. Marriage was seen as a union not only of two people, but also of families, with much importance placed on societal expectations. These unions were often arranged with the primary purpose of securing family interests, economic stability, and social standing. However, following the Protestant Reformation in the 16th century, Scotland underwent significant religious and social changes. The influence of the church weakened, and with it came the gradual erosion of some of the rigid norms that had governed relationships and marriage. This allowed for greater personal agency in choosing a partner, and over time, romantic love began to be seen as a more important factor in marriage. The 20th century brought even greater changes, especially as social movements such as feminism, LGBTQ+ rights, and civil liberties took center stage. These movements helped shift societal views on relationships, emphasizing equality, freedom, and choice in romantic unions. In the postmodern era, this cultural shift paved the way for a more relaxed and inclusive understanding of relationships, where personal preference and mutual consent became paramount. Like and share this video. The best part is coming next. Relationship norms in Scottish cities. The influence of urban life. When it comes to understanding relationships in Scotland, urban environments such as Edinburgh and Glasgow provide the perfect lens through which to examine the shifting dynamics. These cities are known for their vibrant nightlife, diverse populations, and progressive attitudes, making them hubs of social experimentation when it comes to relationships. The nightlife scene in Scotland's cities plays a significant role in shaping modern relationships. relationships. Bars, clubs, and social gatherings create spaces where people can meet, connect, and form romantic relationships without the constraints of traditional social norms. It's in these spaces that many Scots find freedom from conventional expectations of love, allowing them to explore new relationship dynamics without judgment. The lively and social nature of Scottish cities fosters a culture where people are encouraged to be open, direct, and experimental in their romantic pursuits. This freedom has made urban Scotland a fertile ground for non-traditional relationship models, including polyamory, open relationships, and other experimental forms of romance. The cities, especially among younger generations, are places where people feel more liberated to define their relationships on their own terms. Open relationships and polyamory gaining traction in Scotland. In recent years, the rise of open relationships and polyamory has sparked considerable debate in Scotland as these non-traditional forms of romance become more visible and accepted. Open relationships, in which couples agree to have romantic or sexual connections with other people outside their partnership, have gained traction, particularly in urban areas and among younger generations. These relationship models, while still seen as unconventional in some parts of the world, have found a place in Scottish society where individual freedoms and mutual respect are deeply valued. In an open relationship, the boundaries of what is considered fidelity are stretched, allowing both partners to engage with others romantically without it being viewed as a betrayal. Polyamory, which involves having multiple romantic partners with the knowledge and consent of everyone involved, is also gaining popularity in certain circles. Both open relationships and polyamory challenge the traditional concept of monogamy, offering an alternative way to engage with romantic love. While open relationships and polyamory may not be for everyone, their increasing visibility in Scottish society speaks to the broader trend toward greater acceptance of diverse relationship structures. These dynamics emphasize communication, consent, and respect, which are central tenets in Scottish culture. In this regard, Scotland stands out as a country that is redefining the rules of romance and fidelity. The influence of technology, how apps are changing the game. The role of technology in shaping modern relationships cannot be overlooked. Dating apps, social media platforms, and online communities have significantly altered the way people meet, date, and engage in romantic relationships. In Scotland, these digital spaces are increasingly shaping the landscape of romantic interactions, offering individuals new ways to explore relationships and navigate their romantic lives. Platforms such as Tinder, Bumble, and Hinge provide an opportunity for people to connect with others outside their immediate social circles, expanding their romantic possibilities. These platforms make it easier for individuals to pursue non-traditional relationships, whether that means exploring polyamory, open relationships, or even casual encounters. Technology has removed many of the barriers to meeting new people, allowing for more fluid and dynamic relationships. However, the rise of dating apps has also raised concerns about the impact of technology on fidelity and trust within relationships. While technology makes it easier to connect with others, it also opens the door to potential infidelity, especially as relationships are often tested by digital interactions. Nevertheless, these platforms also allow individuals to communicate more openly about their desires, fostering greater transparency and honesty in relationships. Like, share, and comment below with your thoughts on the evolving dynamics of Scottish relationships. The double standards between perception and reality. Despite the openness and flexibility surrounding relationships in Scotland, a certain double standard remains prevalent in the way infidelity is perceived. On the one hand, there is a progressive and open-minded approach to relationships, allowing people the freedom to explore different romantic connections. On the other hand, society still holds certain expectations regarding loyalty and fidelity in relationships, especially in more traditional circles. The acceptance of infidelity, at least in its more open and transparent forms, is not universal across Scotland. While some individuals embrace alternative relationship models, many Scots continue to value loyalty, trust, and commitment in their romantic lives. This duality creates an interesting tension, where the freedom to experiment with relationships coexists with the more traditional ideals of fidelity. This divide is most noticeable in urban centers where modernity and tradition collide. In these areas, the cultural clash between progressive ideas and traditional values leads to a complex social landscape. People who choose non-traditional relationship models models may face judgment or misunderstanding from others who cling to more conventional norms. However, this dynamic is gradually changing, with increasing acceptance of diverse relationship forms. Communication, the key to understanding in Scottish relationships. At the heart of Scotland's evolving relationship culture is communication. Unlike in more traditional societies, where unspoken expectations may dominate, Scots place a premium on honest, transparent communication in their romantic relationships. This openness allows people to set clear boundaries and mutual expectations, which are essential in non-traditional relationships. Couples in Scotland are generally encouraged to discuss their desires, needs, and limitations openly, fostering mutual understanding and respect. This emphasis on communication strengthens relationships, whether monogamous or open, by ensuring that all parties involved are on the same page. In many ways, this culture of open dialogue has contributed to the country's ability to embrace diverse relationship models without conflict. Scotland's approach to love, fidelity, and infidelity is a reflection of its evolving societal values. The country's history, culture, and progressive attitude toward individual freedoms have created a unique landscape where romantic relationships are no longer confined by rigid expectations. While there are still elements of tradition, the growing acceptance of open relationships, polyamory, and other non-traditional models shows that Scotland is embracing a more flexible and inclusive approach to romance. As Scotland continues to evolve socially and culturally, it will likely remain a place where people are free to explore and redefine their relationships on their own terms. This progressive approach to love and fidelity is just one example of how Scotland is challenging norms and reshaping the future of human connection. Like this video, if you found this insightful, share it with your friends and leave a comment below with your opinion on the future of relationships in Scotland.